Two brothers grew up under the same roof, shared the same parents, attended identical schools, and benefited from similar opportunities. They even pursued careers in the same field and earned nearly the same salaries over their working lives. By age 65, one sibling had retired with $1.4 million in investments, a fully paid house, and complete financial independence. He spends his winters in Arizona, contributes to his grandchildren's college expenses, and doesn't concern himself with restaurant prices. In contrast, the other brother retired with just $180,000 in savings, still had 12 years left on his mortgage, and lived with constant financial strain. He works part-time at a hardware store because his Social Security benefits aren't enough to cover his costs. Sleepless nights are spent calculating if he can afford both his medications and his property taxes. With the same upbringing and income potential, their outcomes diverge significantly. This change didn't happen in their 20s, when neither had the wealth to make a financial difference. It wasn't in their 30s, when they were similarly focused on family and career building. Nor was it in their 50s, when their paths were largely set. The difference appeared in their 40s. During this decade, one brother made a series of seemingly minor decisions. The other made different ones, unaware of their long-term impact. Your 40s are financially pivotal, not due to the difficulty of the decisions, but because their implications compound, becoming apparent when it's too late to adjust. Today, I'll illustrate why your 40s hold such great significance, the critical decisions separating a comfortable retirement from a stressful one, and what steps you can take right now, regardless of your age, to ensure you end up on the favorable side of this divide. I'll begin by detailing the financial dynamics that make your 40s uniquely influential. This decade is the intersection of three financial dynamics not encountered at any other life stage. Understanding these explains why your 40s shape everything that follows. The first dynamic is reaching peak earning potential. Most professionals find their income peaks between 42 and 55, although the salary increases of your 30s may slow or stop. The absolute earnings are higher than ever and higher than likely again, allowing your 40s to be the most opportune years for wealth accumulation. For instance, a 45-year-old earning $120,000 has the potential to save more than ever before in absolute terms. The second dynamic is the remaining time for compounding. At 40, there's still a time frame of 20 to 25 years until the conventional retirement age, sufficient for money to potentially quadruple with historical market returns. For example, a dollar invested at 40 could become around $4 by 65. At 50, you have 15 years, and a dollar might turn into about $2.50. At 55, the time shrinks to 10 years, and a dollar becomes roughly $2. The compounding effect decreases markedly as time passes. The 40s are the last decade where substantial compounding is viable. Money invested at 42 significantly outperforms that invested at 52. The third dynamic is the stabilization of expenses. By your 40s, many major costs have peaked or started to drop. Children gain independence and eventually leave home. A house that once stretched your budget now fits comfortably. The work wardrobe is complete, and furniture is purchased. This stabilization offers financial leeway that was non-existent in your 30s when every expense category was on the rise. The question becomes whether this margin is redirected to savings or spent on an expanded lifestyle. These three dynamics create a decade of unusual financial leverage. You have more income than ever before, substantial compounding opportunities, and potential savings from stabilized expenses. Capturing this alignment can lead to significant wealth accumulation. Missing it results in financial limitations that are difficult to overcome. Let's delve into the figures that illustrate this leverage. Imagine someone entering their 40s with $100,000 in retirement savings. They earn an annual salary of $110,000 and can feasibly allocate 15% of it to savings, or $16,500 a year. By consistently saving 15% annually from age 40 to 65 and investing in diversified index funds yielding an 8% annual return, they could accumulate around $1.35 million dollars by retirement. Combined with Social Security, they can look forward to a comfortable retirement with considerable financial leeway. However, if they only save 5% during their 40s and increase to 15% at 50 when retirement becomes pressing, their retirement funds would total approximately $780,000. The consequences of reducing contributions early are staggering. With a mere decade of smaller savings, you can end up with $570,000 less. Why? Well, the money you set aside in your 40s benefits from 25 years of growth, while contributions from your 50s only have 15 years. The advantage of time can't be made up by increasing your savings later. Let's explore another scenario. At 40, with an identical $100,000, you cut back on retirement funds to enhance your lifestyle, buying a bigger house, luxury cars, and lavish vacations, saving just 2% of income in your 40s. Panic hits at 50, leading you to save 20% until retirement. Even with this surge in savings, you amass about $590,000 by 65. Compared to steady saving, your relaxed 40s cost you $760,000 in retirement funds. Decade-long choices led to a gap that a decade of correction couldn't bridge. Let's delve into the vital choices of this crucial decade. Firstly, housing choices in your 40s can have monumental financial impacts. As your family grows and your career advances, you may be tempted to upgrade from a $350,000 home to a $600,000 one. Such a move raises monthly housing costs by $1,500 to $2,000, roughly $18,000 to $24,000 annually, which could otherwise be invested over the next 25 years. In retirement terms, this decision could mean forgoing $900,000 to $1.3 million. I'm not advocating against a bigger home, but many make this decision oblivious to its full financial implications. Spending $1,800 more monthly doesn't just impact your current budget, it translates to losing over $1 million in future wealth. A family that remains in a smaller home can invest the difference, creating possibilities like early retirement, part-time work options in their 60s, aiding children with home purchases, or tackling financial crises with ease. Secondly, car choices in your 40s often lean towards luxury, replacing practical sedans with high-end models or swapping a dependable SUV for something prestigious. A family upgrading to two $45,000 vehicles from two $28,000 ones sees around $34,000 more in car debt, incurs larger insurance costs, and faces pricier repairs. Over time, this auto splurge might erode $200,000 to $400,000 of potential retirement savings. Next, consider your children's education and lifestyle. These are often the costliest child-rearing years, with expenses for vehicles, insurance, activities, and college looming. Families may take on sizable Parent Plus loans, depleting retirement accounts, or halting savings contributions to afford prestigious schools. Children with burgeoning careers ahead graduate into their prime earning years, while parents, in their 50s, are left scrambling to rebuild depleted nest eggs. Successful families often make difficult yet necessary choices, encouraging attendance at affordable state universities or those offering scholarships, requiring student jobs or loans, and persistently saving for retirement despite soaring college expenses. Finally, in your 40s, career risk tolerance becomes critical. This period can present career opportunities yielding significant income boosts, such as new firms offering senior roles or equity. Yet, many grow risk averse, clinging to the comfort and seniority of their current roles, despite the 40s being a strategic time for income expansion. By 50, age related hiring biases may limit advances. A 43-year-old taking calculated risks still has time to rebound if plans falter. In contrast, delaying until 53 lacks this buffer. Choosing growth over comfort can lead to $30,000 or $40,000 more annually, culminating in $300,000 to $400,000 over a decade. The fifth critical decision concerns how much lifestyle inflation one accepts. In your 40s, societal expectations to showcase success intensify. Coworkers embark on extravagant getaways, neighbors undertake kitchen remodels, and friends acquire boats and vacation properties. While some families withstand this pressure to maintain their comfort level from their late 30s, others choose to elevate their standard of living to align with their peers, channeling every additional dollar into conspicuous consumption. The disparity in retirement results between these two paths often surpasses $1 million. Allow me to share the stories of David and Christine to illustrate how these choices accumulate over time. David and Christine tied the knot in their late 20s. By 40, they had $185,000 saved for retirement, owned a modest house valued at $320,000 with a remaining mortgage balance of $180,000, and were raising two children, aged 12 and 9. Their joint income reached $165,000, and they faced decisions on how to steer through the next decade. David advocated for moving to a larger home with a comparable property in a nicer neighborhood costing $575,000. Christine was initially reluctant, but eventually concurred. This upgrade raised their monthly costs by $1,650. To offset this, they reduced their retirement savings from 15% to 6%, comforting themselves that it was a temporary measure. 2 years later, David's car encountered issues, and rather than fixing it, they felt he deserved a better vehicle. Purchasing a new SUV added $680 to their monthly budget. Christine's car was also upgraded the following year. Their children's high school years involved investing in private sports training, SAT prep, and college trips. When their eldest enrolled at an out-of-state university, they opted for a Parent Plus loan instead of encouraging their daughter to select a less costly option. Throughout their 40s, David and Christine never saw themselves as financially reckless. Each decision seemed justifiable. By 50, their retirement accounts had grown to just $240,000, only $55,000 more than at 40, despite years of contributions and market upswings. With their kids finally independent, David and Christine resolved to make up for lost time by maximizing their retirement savings. By 65, they amassed $685,000. Although this seemed substantial, their retirement projections suggested they'd deplete their funds by 82, necessitating selling their home, drastically cutting costs, or working into their 70s. Now consider Robert and Jennifer, whose situation at 40 closely mirrored that of David and Christine. With a combined income of $155,000 and retirement savings of $165,000, they also had two children, aged 11 and 8. Robert proposed moving to a larger home, but Jennifer strongly opposed, having understood the profound financial ramifications of such decisions on retirement. They chose to remain in their current house, redirecting the $1,650 difference each month to their retirement accounts. When it was time to replace Robert's car, they opted for a 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle. As college approached, they engaged in honest discussions with their kids about expenses, resulting in both children attending state universities with merit scholarships. Throughout their 40s, Robert and Jennifer felt like they were rowing against the tide of societal pressures, and their lifestyle appeared modest compared to their peers. By 50, their retirement accounts had burgeoned to $580,000, with diligent saving and market gains more than tripling their balance over a decade. By 65, Robert and Jennifer had saved $1.65 million. Dollars. Their house was mortgage free, and they could enjoy full retirement, frequent travel, and lifelong financial security. The financial gap between these two families was not a result of differing incomes or investment acumen. It stemmed from contrasting decisions made in their 40s. The most noteworthy aspect of these stories is that during their 40s, both families experienced similar levels of life satisfaction. Research repeatedly indicates that lifestyle inflation yields only short lived increases in happiness, with people adapting to their new situations within 18 to 24 months. David and Christine didn't derive greater enjoyment from their 40s compared to Robert and Jennifer. They simply spent more. The extra expenditure offered no lasting contentment while permanently limiting their future. Here are some specific recommendations depending on your current life stage. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you have the privilege of foresight. You now understand that your 40s will be fraught with relentless pressure to expand your lifestyle during your most prosperous earning years. Cultivate habits now that will safeguard you later. Set up automatic retirement contributions that you never cut back on. Define what enough means before your income allows for excess. If you're stepping into your 40s, you're standing at a critical financial turning point in your life. The choices you make in the upcoming decade will decide whether you retire with ease or in distress. Review every major spending category rigorously right now. Are your living arrangements well proportioned? Do your cars serve merely as transport, or are they status symbols? Is retirement taking priority over a lavish lifestyle? Every decision to enhance your lifestyle derails retirement security. If approaching 50 makes you realize you're off track, there's still time to shift focus. Increasing your savings rate by even a small amount now will enhance your future financial stability. Explore drastic measures that your peers basking in luxury might ignore. Consider downsizing your home now instead of waiting until retirement, selling luxury cars, or switching to higher paying jobs, even if they require change. If you've already surpassed 40 with less savings, concentrate on controllable factors. Postpone Social Security for maximum benefits, consider extending your work years, or downsize your home to free up finances. Let's address a key underlying issue. Frugality in your 40s is psychologically tough because it feels like you deserve to enjoy success after decades of toil. The urge for immediate comfort is understandable, yet this mindset can trap you. Satisfying short term desires through lifestyle inflation yields fleeting joy but limits long term freedom. The thrill of an upgraded house or luxury car fades, leaving less for retirement. True contentment comes from turning high earning years into lasting independence. Those who curb lifestyle inflation in their 40s enjoy lasting comfort in retirement, whereas those who inflate their lifestyle endure persistent stress. The decade of restrained spending is rewarded with decades of freedom. Picture your future at 70. You might be planning visits to grandkids or trips to dream destinations, relaxed with financial stability. Alternatively, you might worry if your Social Security check covers your meds or if you can afford car repairs, living with anxiety about limited future choices. Both scenarios root from decisions made in your 40s. It's not about luck or income. It's about choices regarding housing, vehicles, education, career, and lifestyle that accumulate like compound interest. The end of your 40s will arrive no matter what. So will it be defined by informed decisions or defaults? Ensure you're crafting a future version of yourself that lives with fulfillment, not constraints. Your 40s hold the key to your future. Embrace it as a chance to shape your best life.